All right, let's talk about a huge leap forward for AI. On February 19th, 2026, Google dropped Gemini 3.1 Pro. And trust me, this wasn't just another small update. We're talking about a fundamental shift in what AI can actually do for us. So let's dive in and unpack what makes this thing so special. For the longest time, we've thought of AI as this super smart expert, right? Kind of like an oracle you go to for answers. You ask a question, it spits out information, it thinks. But the big story here is this shift from AI as an expert to AI as an assistant. We're moving from a tool that just thinks to one that actually acts. It's the difference between an advisor who tells you what to do and a partner who actually rolls up their sleeves and does it for you. And look, this new power to act didn't just pop up out of nowhere. No way. This was the result of a really clear, really strategic evolution happening over at Google. So let's just walk through the roadmap that got us here. It really tells a story. If you rewind to late 2023, Gemini 1.0 was all about native multimodality, which is just a fancy way of saying it was learning to see, hear, and read all at once, just like us. Then, in 2025, Gemini 2.0 took the next step. It learned how to think, to reason, to plan. And that set the stage for the final leap. Gemini 3.1 Pro is where it all comes together. It masters what they call Agentic autonomy, basically the ability to take a goal and run with it, orchestrating complex tasks completely on its own. So the big question is, how did Google pull this off? How do you give an AI this totally new level of intelligence? Well, it all comes down to a really cool breakthrough in how the AI is built on the inside. They call it the Society of Thought, which is a pretty great name, actually. Instead of just one single AI mind trying to crack a problem, Gemini 3.1 basically runs a debate inside its own head. It simulates a bunch of different cognitive personas. You can think of it like an internal committee of experts. You've got the skeptic, the creative, the logician, all arguing their points. And by doing that, by looking at a problem from all these different angles, it finds a much better, much less biased solution. So does this whole committee in the head thing actually work? Oh yeah, big time. Just look at this benchmark. It's called ARC, AGI-2, and it's basically designed to test how well an AI can solve tricky visual puzzles it's never ever seen before. And Gemini 3.1 Pro just crushes it with a score of 77.1%. I mean, look at that gap. It leaves competitors like GPT-5.2 and Claude 4.5 Opus completely in the dust. This isn't just a little step up, it's a massive leap in pure raw problem-solving ability. And if that wasn't enough, get this. On another benchmark, GPQA Diamond, which is just packed with PhD-level science questions, Gemini 3.1 scores a mind-blowing 94.3%. And here's the crazy part. The actual human experts, the PhDs who wrote the test, they only scored 89.8%. So yeah, the AI is now outperforming the experts in their own fields. It's become a true world-class scientific partner. Okay, so you have an AI this smart. The obvious next question is, what can you actually do with it? And the answer is both simple and absolutely game-changing. It can use your computer. Yeah, Gemini 3.1 has this new tool, and they just call it computer use. It does exactly what it sounds like. It can see what's on your screen, it can move your mouse, it can click, it can type, just like a person. So you could literally tell it, hey, find me the best flights to Tokyo next month, sort them by price, and then go ahead and add the cheapest one to my cart. And it'll just do it. It'll open the browser, navigate the site, and get the job done. And the way it works is actually a pretty simple but brilliant feedback loop. First, the AI gets your goal and takes a look at your screen, like a screenshot. Then it decides what to do next, like click this button here. The computer does the click, and then the AI gets a new screenshot to see the results. So if some annoying pop-up appears or the website changes, it sees that in the new picture and can figure out its next move. It can self-correct just like you would. Now, for all the developers out there, this power gets even cooler. It's all baked into a new AI-native coding environment called Google Anti-Gravity. And this is not just another code editor with a chatbot tacked on the side. No, this thing is built from the ground up to have the AI be your partner, like having a super smart, super fast junior developer sitting right there with you. But the really critical piece here is that anti-gravity solves the biggest problem with AI coding: trust, right? How do you trust the code it writes? Well, here's how. Before it does anything, the AI shows you a blueprint, basically its technical plan for you to review. Then, as it's working, you get a real-time checklist, so you can see exactly what it's doing step by step. And when it's all finished, it gives you the proof, a guide on how you can verify that everything works correctly. It makes the AI totally transparent, a collaborator you can actually rely on.
All right, so the promise here is pretty incredible, but let's get real for a second. What's it actually like for people using it right now? It's time to ground all this hype and talk about the practical problems and frustrations that have popped up since the launch.
Okay, first, let's talk about the promise. On paper, Gemini 3.1 is a beast. It's got a 1 million token context window. That means it can read and remember like a whole book or hundreds of pages of documents all at once. That sounds like a total game changer, doesn't it?
Well, here's the catch. In the real world, it's not quite that perfect. Early users are reporting a very different experience. One person put it perfectly, saying the model has the memory of a goldfish. It seems like the reliability takes a nosedive after about 150,000 tokens. It starts to get summary drift, forgetting key stuff from the beginning of a long document, and sometimes even just making things up.
And it's not just the memory issues. People are reporting other headaches too. The model can be kind of stubborn, sometimes just ignoring what you ask it to do. The rollout has been plagued with connectivity problems and random errors. And maybe most frustrating for developers, the paid API has these really low daily limits that make it tough to build anything serious.
So when you take all this into account, the incredible strengths and these very real weaknesses, where does that leave Gemini 3.1 Pro in the great AI race of 2026?
Well, what's becoming super clear is that we're past the days of looking for the one best AI model. The new race is all about specialists. It's like picking the right tool for the job. You need solid, consistent performance and good math for a decent price. You're probably going to grab GPT 5.2. You're deep in a massive, messy code base trying to fix bugs. Claude 4.5 Opus is still your guy. But Gemini has carved out its own, very specific, very elite niche. So here's the bottom line. The takeaway is this. Gemini 3.1 Pro is the model you turn to for the hard stuff. When you're wrestling with a really complex, abstract problem, or you're doing deep, heavy-duty research, or, and this is the big one, when you're creating something totally new from scratch. That's its sweet spot. Its ability to act and its PhD-level thinking make it the undisputed king of creation and synthesis.
And that really brings us back to the most fascinating question of all. We've officially moved past AI that just thinks and gives us answers. We now have AI that can act on our behalf. So, now that it can do things for you, what's the very first thing you're going to have it do?